I am so excited to give you this tour of the House of Folk Art Gallery in Gibsonville. And this gallery's been here for 2 years. We're about to clean sweep it, and then we're going to redecorate it brand new for the next season. Are you ready for this? Wow. This is it, folks. This is where many people have came the last 2 years and spent time, and the average person spends about 2 hours walking around in this room. They sit in all the different places and they just take it all in. And hey, this is a white glove tour. I mean, we can pick these things up. You want to hold an 1830 Solomon Loy signed Alamance County jug, you can just pick it up. Right there, baby. With the blue cobalt decoration. I never used to be a fan of these until I started scratching furniture. This is a regional mix, okay? So it's local pottery mixed in with some Piedmont, North Carolina signed examples. There's a couple of Catawba Valley pottery pieces in here. And then as far as the self-taught art goes, some of my favorites, Benny Carter, Ab the Flagman. I got a couple Mary Proctors. I am very addicted to Denzil Goodpastor canes. So I'm not going to say I have the largest collection of Denzil Goodpastor canes, but maybe. So let's go ahead and start over here. So this is a monumental piece of Charlie Lucas, and he's known as the Tin Man, and he is in Souls Grown Deep. And so this piece, you can see the size of it. And I mean, this is a cool piece because everybody that comes in here sees something different. And Kyle noted for the first time in 2 years, out of all the people that's seen this piece, that it looks like Freddy Krueger. And I've owned this piece for about 5 years now, and it makes sense, but I've never seen that. And this is a favorite area for a lot of folks because at the end of the day, you can get your choice of a bourbon, and you can take a load off. And one of the cool things, so when Ron was alive, he got Marvin Bailey to make a graduated set of eyeball jugs. So we're all familiar with the eyeball jug, but what people don't know is they don't know about the graduated set. So this is always a fan favorite when they come because everybody's blown away by an eyeball jug, and then they find out that a graduated set exists. This is the first mouth jug that Marvin ever did. And it's got broken china plate teeth with rock teeth. It's a pretty sexy jug. See what he says on the bottom. 1 of 20. Every artist does that. I'm only going to make 20 of these. Who knows how many he's made since, but it's pretty cool. I think this is the most mouths he's ever put on one because he's made several since. That's probably 5 or 6 years ago. And then we can't go without talking about the basketry. I love the basketries. I actually made this basketry. That was our Christmas tree that I cut down. I painted white. And I thought paint it white because the baskets are brown. So the white would just really make the basket pop. This basket right here, while it looks like a very early basket, is actually made by a guy in Virginia. His name is Rocky. And in the last 5 years, there has been some auction houses that know Rocky and they know his name. They've put his last, I can't recall his last, I just knew him as Rocky. And me and my dad would go and see Rocky. He lived in an old house in Virginia, and he made these baskets. He was very skilled. And I mean, is the paint old? No, it's not old. It's like 20 years old. So, but they're made in the old style, and he was a talented basket maker. I think it was Stewart, Virginia, something like that. I'll never forget the day me and my dad bought about 5 of these, and we took one to Mebane, and John picked it up. He was like, "Wait, I smell the paint. That was painted yesterday." It was funny. And then you got the mini baskets, the miniatures. Look how tiny that basket is. I mean, that is a tiny basket. That's crazy, isn't it? Very skilled right there to make that basket. I don't think that basket's old. Here is an old basket though. This is an old miniature basket. Look at that. I mean, you used to have to hunt a lifetime to find a basket like that. Now they're more accessible than ever with the internet. However, good luck. Good luck. All right, moving on. Oh, no, we got to stay here. Look at that paint. That's a double-lidded painted basket. My God. Look at the paint on this stand. Look at the paint on that stand. That's real, too. That's 1910, 1900, yellow. One of my most favorite Mary Proctor paintings. I mean, that painting is tough. Look at that. Now, she doesn't frame a lot of her art, but this one they put, her or her husband, put a black frame around. That is such a great piece of art. It captures a lot. It captures jazz culture and the African American community. Mary is self-taught, so I don't even know how somebody's hand would wrap her. Is that how you? I don't know, but the lines are great. I love it. And then Ab the Flag Man. I actually have a pair of those. And it's odd because the flag is actually mounted on board instead of it just being a floating flag. So I thought that was kind of cool. A very nice Clyde Jones. He's a North Carolina artist. To me, this is a monumental piece. This is a monumental size. And that's whenever an artist makes hundreds of an item, so most potters have made 100 pieces of pottery or more, they can have what's called a monumental piece. So if they usually make a 1 gallon jug or a 5 gallon jug, and all of a sudden there's a 8 gallon piece, you could say that's monumental. So for size, for Clyde Jones, monumental right there. All right, so now we're coming into some good Piedmont, North Carolina salt glaze. And this jug right here is from the Webster School of Potters. And this is an early North Carolina jug. And we know it's Chester Webster just by the form, but if you needed more indication, part of his one stamp is there. So that's a very nice jug. Followed up with a fantastic size. That middle jug's a fantastic size. Early Piedmont, North Carolina with good drifts. And then another Webster School. And I don't know if you can see the similarities of the stamps here, but can you pick up on the similarity of the two ones? Yeah. And I'm not, as a new collector, I wouldn't expect you to pick out, oh, that's Webster School. But as you get into your game of learning Piedmont, North Carolina pottery, you do need to be able to identify a piece of Chester Webster. It's very important. A very folky North Carolina stand. What makes it folky? Well, look at the cuts. Look at the additional. Let's look at the drawer. Look at the added beadwork on the drawer. And this side, that side's missing it. Look at that dovetail right there. They really knew what they were doing. But the added features, the scallop cut top, the added turnings here, the turned legs, it's just a folky stand. It's a folky North Carolina stand. And we come into a 1840 Alamance County is where we attribute this. 2/3 chest of drawers. Okay. And one thing about the House of Folk Art collection, we have stacked the drawers with some primo folk art. 2 of the most lovely, I don't even know what you want to call these. This is, but as far as value, who gives a these are some of the most, this is fantastic folk art. Look at the thought that somebody had. Obviously made by the same hand. Look at this tie right here. Look at this. Look at that metal tie that's cut out. It's got a swing on it. Look at the cigarette in his mouth. This is circa 1940, 1950. So this is some of the most incredible pure folk art. And these are dancing. You're supposed to have a long rod, a wooden rod that comes out about right here, and then you dance them on a paddle. So I picked these two up at Liberty, and I want 100 of them. So if anybody knows the artist, because to me these are anonymous, but this is an artist right here. He probably made several more of these. Ha! 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 Look at that. Look at that. Another anonymous work. What a great piece. It don't get no better than that, folks. So those stay in the drawers. And we do that for the surprise element. Anybody who knows anything about period furniture, you have to look at the drawer construction. So when you go to look at the drawer construction, you find a very rare, very sought after book by Purvis Young, a painted book. These are super rare to find intact, because a lot of dealers will buy this book and they'll cut the pages out and then they'll frame them. But this, look at that. Ha! I didn't even know that page was there. Look at that. This is Purvis Young, born 1943, died 2010, Miami, Florida. He created thousands of works of art, and this is a very rare painted book manuscript. And this is just something Purvis did from time to time. Was he would paint and paste it in a book. This is just what he wanted to do. It's his art. These books are very rare, very hard to find. I think this is a piece of my child's art. If you ever want to see good self-taught art, go to a kindergarten art show. I don't think I've decked out those drawers. So we've already shown this walking stick, but this is the best walking stick. My dad picked this walking stick back in sometime in the 1990s. And this is hands down one of the best walking sticks you'll see. It's going to be a shame to box this up for 20 years, but that's what's about to happen to all of this. And I mean, look, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. One of the most drippiest potteries you will ever see from Alamance County. 100%. So if you're ever walking through a shop and you see this, you see that, and you spin it around, that's the difference. Who'd a bit better than 35 to 45, 50. Look at those drips. That's some drip. They just keep going. Good God. Good Gugga Munga. So we got a miniature painted blanket chest. Piedmont, North Carolina, signed Wood and Loy. And then another signed example of Loy pottery, J.M. Loy. I love mixing contemporary folk art with, I mean, this is from 1999 to 2015, sitting right above 1840, 1920, 1850, 1840, and then 1850. So we love to mix the contemporary with the old period furniture. Hey, without a doubt, if not the biggest, one of the biggest root knots you have ever seen. Right there. I bought that at Liberty. So here we have American clocks, and I'm particular to the fashion clocks because my dad picked the fashion clock before I was born, and I grew up with a fashion clock over our mantle. I needed to outdo my dad, so I think that's the number 2 and the number 4. Maybe. I don't know the numbers. I'm not a clock guy, but I love a fashion clock. This one, it has the gold painted fashion on the glass. It's one to look for. It used to be a $2,500 clock. Nowadays, I mean, I think I got a couple of these. The last one I got, I paid $400 for it. So clocks are a dying thing. I wish they wasn't, though, because the clock is one of the earliest forms of North Carolina cased furniture. This is a case right here. A cabinet maker had to build this case just like they had to build this case. There's as much work that went into building this case right here as it did right here. And earlier than this is 1879, but there's clocks that date back to the 1800s in America that are fantastic pieces of artwork. Moving on. This is a special piece right here. This is Radcliffe Bailey, an Atlanta-based artist, African-American fine art, and that's a collage. And then we've highlighted some of our baskets. These are just upper end, small baskets, miniature, miniature, miniature. Then we get to small sized baskets. Upper end, monumental when it comes to the size of Billy Ray Hussey lions. Very monumental in the size. And that's very heavy. This is an early Billy Ray Hussey lion when he was with M.L. Owens. This is more of his later work, but again, a very monumental size. It's got a lot going for it. And when I first got this, I thought to myself, I've never seen one of these. Hat racks, whatever you want to call it. But since then, I've seen quite a few. So that was I believe it was just a form that was made in the Adirondack style, but it is perfect for holding walking sticks. This walking stick, my dad picked sometime in the 90s. And I don't know if you can catch the paint on this, but this paint is upper end. Such good paint. Like a mustard yellow is what we call that. It's an upper end stick here. And one of the better sticks that we have here at the Folk Art Gallery is right here. This is a cane that is carved from tip to the top with great detail. It is a very high level advanced cane. From anywhere from 1920 to 1940, something like that. A great cane. Now, if you've learned anything from this episode, who made this basket? Rocky! Exactly. This is another Rocky basket. Stewart, Virginia. All right, y'all ready for this? I don't even know what's in here. You ready?
Yeah.
This is what's going to take so long. This is going to be incredible. Oh my God. Do we have to get into this? I mean, we've got baskets. We've got early North Carolina. This is super. This is utilitarian circa 1880 North Carolina salt glaze cup and saucer. 3 sets. And there was a phase where we wanted to display. A lot of what's in here has been on display, but it's gotten out of display. Some more fine walking sticks. This is a brilliant cane. This is a great cane. Tell me when you got it in.
You got it.
I mean, look at these small individuals right here carved. I mean, there's 20 or 30 different carvings inside that. Look at the 2 people inside the canoe. This is a brilliant cane. And what happens is collections like this go off the market and they stay off the market for years. Now, I thought I showed you the smallest basket, but this is actually the smallest basket. I have no idea what's in this next one. Huh? Huh? Okay, this is a LF&C. My grandfather fought in World War One. He was part of the 30th Division. They called it Old Hickory. This is a World War One LF&C 1917 trench knife, and it was outlawed by the Geneva Convention. I don't know if you can catch that blade. You see the triangulation of that blade? When you drove this blade into somebody, the wound would not heal, so the Geneva Convention outlawed it. But, I mean, hundreds of these were made and issued to World War I U.S. troops. Oh, it keeps going. Hey! These are great. These are Charles Simmons carvings. Some of the better Charles Simmons carving. You know, somebody bought this one at auction. And they shipped it back because they said, you lied in the photo. You said that you made it look like it would stand up. And you lied. And I mean, I don't understand. Anyway, so you know what I said? Being that I'm a folk art collector, please send it back. We're good. Just send it back. But clearly I lied that it won't stand up, right? I mean, come on, give me a break. But this is an upper end carving by Charles Simmons. Let's stand it up again. You ready? Oops. Nope.
You lying auctioneer.
What the hell? I just had it standing. Come on, mother. Stand up. Maybe he was on an uneven surface. There. See? Now, would I want it to stand there and me walk away? Hell no. That's why I keep it in the drawer. I'm a son. But what you do is you make stands for these. Because really that needs to sit up. So something would go underneath it to make it stand up. Fantastic carving, Charles Simmons. All right. Please don't let anything be in this drawer. Nope. Nothing in that drawer.
What is this piece of furniture?
It's probably Kentucky, an inlaid, heavily carved, heavily inlaid. Just a cool piece of furniture. Here we have a nice group of baskets, and they range from, these are actually painted baskets. Mary Proctor, got another great jazz musician, another great Mary Proctor. And got a great walking stick here. Now, I'm going to show you this. Here's what tipped me off about this cane. All right, you see our cane here? You see the cane in the photo right here at the very end? See any similarities?
Yeah, very similar.
And so when you flip through here, right here, it's not very similar. It's the same carver. And what do we do right here? So this is an extraordinary catalog, lot 120. This is an extraordinary catalog of a supreme cane collection. There was canes in this auction that brought $10,000. And that's phenomenal for a anonymous folk carved cane. Let's see what they say about this cane. Bear with me. House of Folk Art. Dogs, no. Fully carved painted snake and frog, reportedly carved by Joseph Seeger, Wisconsin. Blah, blah, blah. Green spotted frog, blah, blah, blah. Eyes decorated with pinheads. NHF handle is foreign. Reportedly carved by Joseph Seeger. So when you look Joseph Seeger up, he's a decoy carver from Wisconsin. So this is a great cane. Oh, man, I don't know if I want to pull it out or not. Come here, buddy. Ooh, this thing's big. Oh, I bet that's the third time I about broke that today. Look at that. Don't mess around and put a basket on top of that. It'll fall in. Yep. That's a big Berlin Craig. I mean, that's an early Berlin Craig. Very early. I can't wait to sell all this stuff, man. So, Tom Steck. That's a piece of art by Tom Steck. This is a killer basket. This basket, this is killer. I have another basket by this same maker. It's not painted though. This paint's awesome. It's got great paint. Killer. Killer.
I don't usually see you buy baskets like that.
Well, it's a great basket. I mean, it's a 1940s. It's a killer basket. It's North Carolina. I know the maker. I'd have to look it up. But I mean, for the age, the patina, it's definitely a southern-made North Carolina basket, and it's from a particular maker. That's why I bought it. They had two of them. This was the painted one. Yeah, it's a great basket. I went a little overboard on this one, though. I'll tell you that. I'll never get my money out of it. So, moving on, a Gibsonville folk art gallery would not be complete without a Marvin Bailey eyeball jug. And that's a very colorful version. Got a lot of blue. Coming into the North Carolina tall-foot blanket chest in green paint. Sitting on top, this is where we like to mix in contemporary art with period furniture. We have a monumental carving by Charles Simmons of the Yankee baseball player. Just such a great carving. This was our first Purvis Young that we acquired. It's an early work, and it's depicting a jail cell. So we have protesters outside the jail, or maybe down below, because it seems like the jail's still down there. And this is the bars of the jail cell. And when I say early work, 1980, something like that. Maybe late 70s, 1978 to 1980. This is one of the better canes here. This is an African American folk cane, and it is American, but it's naming some important African American figures, or African, because we got Mandela here, right? So it says on one side, it says Black, My Story. And then it's signed WW. Then we're talking about Martin King, Malcolm X, Jesse Jackson, Farrakhan, and Mandela. So it's got important names of African American figures and some. But this is a great stick. I think this stick came. Remember how I told you I bought 30 sticks at a time from an auction, and so it was in one of those lots. But it's a great stick. And then we have some more contemporary folk art canes. All these canes are by artists from the 1980s. This is a special cane. This is by Benny Carter. Benny carved a few canes, but really nice carving. These are in the book too, by the way. Now, do we want to get into what's inside the blanket chest? Oh, this is a very rare jug signed D. Holly, Daniel Holly. Very rare Catawba Valley signed jug. You'll find 10 Dan Siegels before you find a D. Holly. And a Dan Siegel is rare. Sit there, buddy. All right, y'all ready for this? I love hiding things, and one place I choose to hide things is blanket chests. So this blanket chest is full of walking sticks. Just packed. Can you get that?
Yeah.
Do I want to pull some out?
Yeah, one feet.
One or two? How can you just pick one or two?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. One. All right, so here we have Benny Carter, BTC, Benny T. Carter. What'd you say? Benny Carter was wild, man. He was friends with Mike Hudson. He was wild. Here's another Benny Carter pane. Signed BTC. And then we get to some older canes. This is a great cane. I forget. This is why I hide things, because you forget about them. It's like Christmas. That's a really nice cane. I think that was made for somebody really tall. Holy moly, mother of Hades. Look at all these alligators. That is an alligator cane right there, buddy. Looks like it's been broken in half. I think it's been broken in half 3 times. Somebody used that to beat somebody with. Anyway, that's a lot of good canes. What is in here? I bet there's something in here. Come here, right here. I bet you there's something in the teal. Oh, it's more miniature baskets. Huh. See, I kind of remembered that. I kind of remember the miniature baskets. That's going to be really fun to look at all those sticks one day. I'm not going to do it today, though. Should we just do one big auction of all this stuff? I'm kind of getting in the mood, man. I'm not going to lie. One of my most proud things that I have is the Denzil Goodpastor staff with the built frame. And we had the staff here for a long time, and we said, how do we display that? How do we make it pop? And then it came to us to build a frame around it, and I just think it pops. So if anybody needs some frames done, I'll build frames for $1,200 a frame. Speaking of Denzil Goodpastor, these were acquired over a 10-year period. These were acquired all at once from the man who discovered Denzil Goodpastor. I believe it's 19 canes. And they are, I love them. This is an early. Now there's stuff. Seems like it's stuck in there. I'm addicted to Denzil Goodpastor canes. The addiction is real. And then it's coupled with some canes from the early 20th century. Most of those canes are from 1900. It's a real nice one. Look at all those snakes. I got this can at Liberty. Dare we see if there's anything in the drawers? Oh. Nope. Missed those drawers. Didn't put anything in the drawers. And we swing over here to some very impressive works by Benny Carter. Hands down, some of my favorites right here. These are 2 really tough paintings. I mean, they got a lot going on. They're not very big. No self-taught art collection in Gibsonville is complete without a Wade Ledbetter. The Bucket Man, this is the most talked about piece in here. Bucket Man folk art. I mean, he made hundreds of these. Daniel Hoskinson's. He made hundreds of these plastic buckets. It's one of the cooler pieces in here. So this is a great wall here. We've got some fantastic Benny Carter, some upper end Benny Carter, small and big. One of the better Ab the Flagman pieces in the collection. Showed off here, the banjo. He didn't make many banjos. He made me this big banjo, then he made some small ones that are out there based off of this one. But this is the only big one that he ever made. And it is a great piece. And then some more Benny Carter. Paintings of the White House. And, all right, we're going to open a drawer. We're going to end the tour with this. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to see some of the best pieces that are in the gallery of the House of Folk Art? Are you ready for this? Are you going to come with me? Come on. These are some of the best pieces. This is a collection of carved baseball players. This is circa 1900. And it's a set carved by the same hand. And that is those are killer.
Where'd you get them?
I got them from Fishersville, actually. I think they're going to scream. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to take the tour with us at the House of Folk Art. I can't wait to gut this room and just start from scratch. It'll probably take 6 months to get it back decorated, but we'll let you back in here when we do.